Sometimes when we are working with these teachings and we are changing an old story to a new story, and if that old story has been there for a while, you may experience a form of purging in your physical reality. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because by the sounds of it, some of you are actually experiencing this now. And if you haven't experienced it, then you probably will experience it at some point, because this is a natural part of the process. And I wanted to explain exactly what purging is and the role it plays with these teachings of law of assumption. So that's what we're doing today. Stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie, and I am a qualified life coach and author, here to support you to step into the starring role of your life movie, because yes, your life is a movie playing out on the holographic dynamic screen of your mind based on the assumptions and the stories you are telling yourself. So I want to help you to tell better stories so that you can experience a better reality. If you would like support with that, I offer one-to-one law of assumption coaching. I also have a free 21-day set yourself up with the ultimate self-concept course. You'll find all of those details in the box below this video or at my website, youaretheone.com.au. But for now, let's get into it. Okay, today I wanted to talk about purging, because this is a topic that I am experiencing, as I've spoken a little bit about in my past videos, but also I think there is a little bit of confusion around what purging is and the role it plays in law of assumption. Purging is a really powerful part of this process. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to resist. Consciousness is the cause of reality, and reality is reflecting back what we're doing in consciousness. So if you go from a negative or unfavorable story to suddenly telling yourself a better story, you may experience a purge. In fact, you're likely to experience a purge, and it can come in a number of different ways, and I'll go into that. But it's just like if you are in the physical world and you go out and you have yourself a great meal, like you have the best meal of your life, you are still going to have to go to the toilet after. It's just part of the process. You're going to have to eliminate what is no longer required, even though it was the best meal. And even if you're telling the best stories, there is an elimination part of this process, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I know I made another video about purging about a year ago, 9 months ago, I think it was. And I went back and watched that because I wanted to know what I had already spoken on around purging. And I realized I've only done one video on purging, and that was 9 months ago when I went through my last purge. This is the second time that I've gone through a purge, and they have both come after the changing of big stories. So purging is a part of the process. Purging is not you being sick or ill, but it is a natural elimination process. We eliminate waste every day. You can purge physically through the physical body, which is what I'm experiencing right now. You can also purge mentally or emotionally, and also circumstantial. You can also experience purging in your reality. I'm going to go through each of these. So let's look at what purging actually means based on the original definition. Remember, words are just the signpost for awareness. So you want to be aware of what the meanings of the words are, because that's what you are using to direct your awareness. Whether you are speaking words or thinking words, your language will direct awareness. So language is an important part of this process. Purge comes from 13th century purgin, clear of charge or suspicion, from Anglo-French purger, Old French purgeur, wash, clean, refine, purify, morally or physically, 12th century, and directly from Latin purgare, cleanse, make clean, purify, especially in reference to the body, free from what is superfluous, remove, clear away. When we are purging, we are essentially purifying the body. The body is purifying itself. Consciousness is purifying itself. There is nothing wrong with purging. It doesn't always feel great. It's not always comfortable, but it's an awesome process, because you know that the work that you have been doing in consciousness is actually clearing the way for this new reality to come in and reflect back this work that you've been doing in consciousness. Purging is a really powerful part of this process. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to resist. It's nothing to kind of push away. This is awesome. I'm super happy about this, because this is the old story clearing itself out. This is old consciousness clearing itself out. I am being purified in this process. This is awesome. I'm not comfortable. I'll give it that. I'm not comfortable, and I'm probably not loving it in the way I love other things, but I am seeing it for what it is, and that's exciting. Let's look at the way in which you can purge. So if you are aware of an old story that you've been telling and you've consciously now created a new story, you have now aligned to a new state of consciousness. Now, there can be a time delay and a catch up with the human body into that. Remember, matter has to catch up to consciousness, and there is time and space involved with that process. And there is an elimination process, just like everything. If you change your diet in the physical world, you're going to have an adjustment period in your body. It's the same with consciousness. When you go from an old, negative, unfavorable story to a good story, a positive, high quality story, there is an adjustment period. Now, that adjustment can happen in the physical way. So you can experience physical symptoms like I am, and they could range from anything. We have been taught that that means you're sick or you're ill or there's something wrong with you, but that is not the case. You are purifying and cleansing yourself, and this is a releasing of the old, just like as if you were going to the toilet in human form. It's a very natural part of the physical experience. It's the same with the consciousness as well. Elimination is a very integral part of this process in consciousness. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very normal. It's just a form of elimination. You might have a mental purge. There is an unraveling of the old story coming up and out. Now, the key is to not get caught up in that mental spiral. If you've changed the story and you are experiencing a mental spiral, that could be a mental purging of the old story. The key with purging is to not get caught up in the story that there's something wrong with you, and to see it as a releasing of the old. It's an elimination. Just see it as elimination. You could experience purging emotionally. So you're now entertaining new assumptions, and then you might become really emotional. There might be a lot of tears. There might be anger. There might be frustration. There might be irritability. There might be resentment, or whatever it is. There's an emotional elimination process happening. You don't have to identify with what's happening. You want to acknowledge it. This is not comfortable. This is what's happening. It's just a purge. I'm just eliminating what is no longer needed. So I'm just going to hold myself through this process until it passes, because that is what is going to happen. It passes. This passes. You could also, however, experience purge spiritually or energetically. You might change your story to a high quality story, and suddenly you become really tired, or you feel like you just need to rest or to sleep, or you don't have any energy. You may be experiencing some kind of spiritual or energetic purge. The key with purging, one, to know that that's what's happening. You are eliminating waste. You are eliminating what is no longer needed. There's no need to get into a whole story about it. It's just an elimination process. That's all that's happening. Just like if you were to have the best meal of your life, you're still going to have to go to the toilet. That is all that is happening. That is all that is happening here. You need to take responsibility for your health and to understand what is right for you. If you need to go to the doctor, you have to go to the doctor. There's no point in resisting reality by denying it. If something is in your reality and it's causing harm to your 3D vehicle, you need to go and address that. And you do that with a healthcare professional. But you also want to look at what are the assumptions you're holding about what is happening. If you're aware that this is just a purge, this is just a release, this is just an elimination, then you know what's happening, and you need to be able to hold yourself through that while this just moves through the body. And it will move through, and you just take care of yourself through that. This is not about denying reality. This is not about saying, no, that's not happening. I'm not experiencing this. It's bullshit. If you're experiencing something in reality, it's because there's been something in consciousness that has been manifested, and you're now experiencing it in reality. If you are consciously changing your mental diet, if you are up-leveling your reality, you may go through an elimination process. You can experience that physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or energetically, or circumstantially. Actually, that's the other one that I haven't spoken about. If you change your story and you've gone from your current reality is telling you what the current assumptions are about something, and you decide to change that story, what can sometimes happen is all of a sudden everything goes to shit. You're like, what is going on here? That's a purge. That is a circumstantial purge. That is consciousness just moving through the physical reality. And your job is to stay faithful to the new story, to the new state of consciousness, to not react to it. Yes, you can see it and acknowledge it. Acknowledgement doesn't mean affirmation of it. Resistance to it means affirmation of it. So you want to acknowledge what's happening and go, okay, that's just my reality purging itself through. And I know that I've changed the story, and this is the story I'm now faithful to, and that's the one I'm sticking with, and my reality will and has to and must catch up to that. You're working with yourself, you're showing up to yourself, you're also acknowledging what is going on, and you're not buying into the old state of consciousness that if this is going on through you, you're not sick, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just eliminating what is no, if you're changing the story, if you're working with this stuff. So I hope that helps understand what purging is. Please be gentle with yourself. Please be very loving and caring with yourself. Do not judge yourself, just as you wouldn't judge yourself to going to the toilet after having a meal. You do not have to judge yourself for purging after changing your story. This is not about judging yourself. This is not about making yourself wrong or making your reality wrong. This is just acknowledging. This is just a natural part of the elimination process. This is an up-leveling. This is an aligning to a new timeline, to a new reality, and you are dissolving what is no longer needed. This is coming up and out, so you never have to experience it again. You are on a new timeline. You're going to experience a new reality. Your reality will and must catch up, because reality is the reflection of what you're doing in consciousness. Consciousness is real. Reality is the reflection of what is real, which is consciousness. And just know that you are the amazing and powerful creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you. Assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you. And for me too. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for your beautiful comments, which I love reading. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would love to have you, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.